the Daily Bases. Seventh straight, Craig Mish, for the New York Mets in the hunt for that third and final National League wildcard spot. The Braves are playing the Rockies, so bad news for New York. Atlanta has won both of the first two games of that set. Still a half-game deficit for the Amazons to make up, but they are doing all they can. 7 consecutive victories for the Mets. What has spurned on this late charge out of New York?
Yeah, the stars are shining for them. Pete Alonso and, more importantly, Francisco Lindor. I mean, those have been two big reasons. The pitching has been good. They're finally being able to close out some games, although the bullpen has been shaky all season long. But, it's sort of incredible to think that a year ago, the Mets said goodbye to Scherzer and Verlander and Robertson and Canha and all these other players, and they're much better this year without them. I don't know what that speaks to, but look, they're playing very good baseball at the moment. I think they're going to fight this thing all the way right down to the end. Guys, this is like a horse race that's coming down the stretch with them and the Braves, and it's just kind of like too close to call at the moment. So I feel like, my best advice would be to sit back and enjoy this thing and see who ends up winning, because for me, it's just flip that coin right now. They're both playing good baseball. I don't know.
Yeah, camaraderie there for the Mets, certainly there. And also with the Atlanta Braves trying to stay just ahead of the Mets, the Philadelphia Phillies back to winning. The NL East playing great baseball at the top of it. If we go to the West Coast here, I thought it was interesting yesterday. The San Diego Padres, obviously one of the better teams in baseball and ultra-talented. Yu Darvish returns back to the mound. And I was saying to myself, Greg, what happens if Yu Darvish gets back to what he has been doing over, let's just say, the past decade, and what boost that could be for the San Diego Padres? Not the case, though, in that first game back. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and a home run given up in this game. What did we see how to do Yu Darvish? And also, Craig, what are the expectations for us for Yu Darvish in the month of September?
Well, I mean, Musgrove pitched very well his last time out, Donnie. I think that's more important than Yu Darvish. I mean, Yu Darvish has been gone a while. I believe he's on the restricted list. Didn't see a lot of reporting on that either, so I'm not really sure exactly what's going on there, and so I'm not surprised to see these initial results. He's had really good regular season success. I'm not sure about his postseason success. So, look, I think they would like to get him going. If I'm sort of predicting, Donnie, what would happen in a 3-game wild card series, maybe he'd pitch game 3. I don't think he'd pitch game 1 or game 2. He could be their 3rd or 4th starter in a 7-game series. So the Padres will hope, but I think we got to call it what it is at this point. They've gotten this far kind of without him. So they're just hoping that they could get anything, I think, to get him into the postseason and pitching well. I wouldn't say that he's a candidate to not be on the postseason roster just yet, but he's going to have to pitch well the last month to be on it.
Jackson Merrill, a 3-run home run to bring San Diego back to start their comeback against the Tigers yesterday. Fernando Tatis walking it off for the Padres at home in extra innings. Yu Darvish's first start since the end of May. We expect to see Yoshi Yamamoto for the LA Dodgers on Tuesday, at least next week at some point for the first time since the middle of June. Despite how hot the D-backs and the Padres have been, Craig, since the All-Star break, the Dodgers have been keeping pace, a 4.5-game lead in the National League West, because they are getting healthy at the right time. What will the addition of Yamamoto do for the Dodgers' World Series outlook?
Yeah, I mean, this is really big to get him back, and Ben, maybe for him to make a 5-inning start, a 6-inning start, and then maybe one more before the postseason begins, because he's going to be in that rotation down the stretch. But you said it right. I think the Dodgers have played themselves through the first half of the season, showcasing everybody that they had. Everyone is playing, but at different times, players have been out. Mookie Betts missed a long period of time during the season. They're going to get right at the right time. And anything less than getting to the World Series for the Dodgers is a failure. So this will be a big help for them. We'll see if they get there.
Afternoon baseball, Craig. We actually have 2 games in the 1 o'clock hour. The one full focus on here is the Houston Astros taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Brown versus Louder. Heavy favorite on the road for the Astros at a -162 price and a total that is listed at 9. Any thoughts tonight? Houston and Cincinnati.
Well, I do have some thoughts, and this will be important for us to have this conversation next year when I'm throwing out these season win totals and we're going over this stuff. Let's not forget what happens over the course of the season. And I'm more focused on that. I'm already looking toward next year with this stuff. So, we're going to hit the 2 totals we gave out at the beginning of the year. Guys, the Reds are 12-26 in 1-run games this season. They played a lot of close games, and they lost almost them all. 2 different opinions. Number 1, I don't ever give this kind of play out usually on the show. I don't think I've done it once all season long, but I probably would play the Reds plus a 1.5 because they're playing so many 1-run games and losing. So we don't care if they win or lose. We just care if they fall within a run. And then the second thing is we got to keep a close eye on that Reds win total next season, because that 12-26 could be 26-12 next season. One-run games are impossible to predict on a year-by-year basis. It is probably the luckiest stat in all of baseball. It just shows that one year you were lucky and one year you were not. Believe me, the Reds will have a much better record in one-run games next season. We're going to keep an eye on that going into next year.
There has been some promise in Cincinnati. Last year, the late charge trying to get back in the NL wildcard chase. This year, albeit 6 games below 500, but they've won 3 straight, looking for the sweep of the Great American Ballpark against the Astros this week. All right, Craig Mish, debut of the NFL season tonight in Arrowhead. Chiefs a 3-point favorite against the Ravens, 46.5 the total. What's your early lean?
Early lean on all of the NFL games this week is overs on first halves. I think the kickoff rule is going to play a big factor in the first half of NFL games. I'm going to take the over in the first half of the Chiefs-Ravens, 22 and a half, depending on where you can get it. I think it'll normalize over the course of the season, but points are going to go up by 2 or 3 this year with the kickoff rule. I think the first half is the first place to look.
Craig's normally an under guy, too. An over out of Craig Mish. More on the early line next. Only a 9-game slate in Major League Baseball on this Thursday, probably understanding that the National Football League is the focus today. And of those 9 games, 4 of the 9 in the afternoon hours in their respective ballparks. We start in San Francisco. It's the Giants and the Diamondbacks. San Francisco looking to avoid a sweep against Arizona, booked as nearly $1.50 favorite at home. Blake Snell gets the start against Merrill Kelly. 7.5 is the total, slightly on its way up. The D-backs have won both of the first 2 games of this set. Yesterday, Zach Gallen, no-hit baseball through 6 innings, did throw 100 pitches, so didn't get the chance to prolong the no-hit bid against the Giants, but Arizona has won the first 2 in San Francisco.
And by the way, yesterday, my favorite team total of the night was the Arizona Diamondbacks. They played 6 runs to cash that over. It's going to be much harder to score runs today. Birdsong yesterday, not a great pitcher. Blake Snell, maybe the best overall pitcher in baseball over the past 60 days. Why do I say that? Take a look at this. 10 games started over the past 2 months here. 62 2/3 innings pitched here. How about an ERA, Ben, of 1.30 with an xFIP of 290. Absolutely tremendous. Pitcher's ballpark. He should be able to be dominant tonight. And you take a look at that Arizona Diamondbacks lineup today, struggling over the past 30 days against left-handed pitching. This should be a great performance out of him against a pretty good lineup. On the opposite side, Merrill Kelly. Look at his last 30 days, Ben. 98 batters he's faced, an ISO of 307 against, a weighted on base percentage of 427 against. He's been absolutely hammered. This is the pitching mismatch. If we have 15 pitchers, Ben, on the card today, 60 days, minimum of 20 innings, you got number 1 versus number 15. This should be a win for the Giants today.
Blake Snell was so great in August, really since his return in July. In July, he did not win a decision, but had a .75 ERA, only allowing 2 earned in 4 starts, 7 earned in 6 starts in August, 2-0 with a 1.64 ERA. Meanwhile, you look at Merrill Kelly, who made his return in the month of August. Since the end of April for Arizona, gave up 16 earned runs, DRS, but does not have a loss on the resume and actually won 2 games despite a 6.75 ERA. The Giants have been struggling, though. They've lost 4 straight, 6 of their last 7, 9 of their last 12. No longer really in postseason consideration in the National League. Next up on this 9-game slate around MLB, we go to San Diego. The Tigers had a 5-0 lead early yesterday. Detroit playing much better baseball. They've won 10 of their last 14 before the Padres rally and eventually walk it off in extras. San Diego minus 158 is a home favorite today. Total of 8 against the Tigers. What do you like?
Don't really like the pitchers all that much on either side, but having said that, you're still pitching out in Petco, which is a true pitcher's ballpark. Martin Perez hasn't had a great season by any stretch, and over the past 60 days for him, 53 1/3 innings pitched, an ERA right around 4 and an xFIP number of 4.57. Here's the problem. The Detroit Tigers, not a great offense by any stretch, but they haven't hit left-handed pitching all that well over the past month. You take a look at Matt Vierling and Spencer Torkelson. Outside of them, everybody else pretty much below par. If we flip it over to the other side, take a look at Casey Mize on the mound. down, coming back. He's only had 25 batters that he's faced over the past 30 days, been okay against them. It's just one of those where you look at it. Detroit's not going anywhere. The Padres need this game. I know it's not the best way to bet things, but you're taking a look at Martin Perez. I think you can hold down that Detroit offense. You have a lockdown bullpen on the opposite side with San Diego. I'll go that route. Lay about that minus 150 price or so. Padres win this baseball game.
The Padres, the top team in the National League wildcard, still a half game in front of Arizona. Detroit was 8 games below 500 on August 10th. They've won 15 of 22 since, back to an even 500. But San Diego looks for the sweep at home today. Next, we go to Atlanta. The Braves have won both of the games against the Rockies, bouncing back from the weekend series defeat to Philadelphia. You take out the weekend in Philly, Atlanta's won 8 of their last 9, and they've needed to hold off the Mets. Still that half-game advantage for the third and final National League wild card spot. The Braves, a hefty favorite yesterday with Charlie Morton on the bump, minus 270. They were a hefty favorite in the opener with Chris Sale, near a $3 favorite today against the Rockies, who have been eliminated, by the way, from NL playoff contention.
Yeah, it's paint by numbers in this game. You should get an easy victory for Atlanta. Ronaldo Lopez here past 60 days, 2.37 ERA. He's been phenomenal since he's been pitching for the Atlanta Braves, and an xFIP number of 3.30. Here's the issue. Austin Gomber can't get out right-handed bats. You're going to get a ton of right-handed action tonight. Only 2 batters, Ozuna and Merrifield, have below-average ISO power numbers against left-handed pitching over the past month. They should rake. They should pitch well. It should be another easy victory for the Braves over the Colorado Rockies.
Total is 8. First 2 games, both Atlanta victories. The game has stayed under.